Greetings everyone. So no sooner did I upload my reaction video to the Last Supper mockery at the Paris Olympic ceremony that a press conference was held where, among others, the creator of this ceremony gave his explanation and his response to some of the criticism he has rightfully received for this absurdity that he decided to put on. If that press conference had just taken place a few hours earlier, I could have included that in my initial video. I haven't really had a chance to look at it until now, but I'm going to react to this. I'm going to play the press conference for you, and we'll watch it along together and have a look at this explanation, as I said, because it's not really an apology. It's more of just an explanation of what it was supposed to be and how perhaps people took things the wrong way. So here we go. Let's have a look at this. Paris Olympics organisers apologise to Christians. That is the title that Reuters put on, or News Clip put on.
To the gender parity subject, one is not, so I think
and clearly there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. On the contrary, I think that Thomas Joly really tried to really intend to celebrate community tolerance. That was his word yesterday. And
okay, so I don't see how no intention to show disrespect to any religious group is in any way related to, on the contrary, we wanted to include everyone. That's got nothing to do with disrespecting religion. You can disrespect religion while then supposedly include everyone. And you certainly weren't including Christians. Not in a positive way anyway. You weren't including Christianity in a positive way. You were disrespecting it.
Looking at the result of the polls that we shared, we believe that this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offense, we are of course really sorry.
See, this is when you know something is a non-apology, right? When someone goes, if anyone was offended by this, we're sorry that you were offended. If anyone was upset, sorry that it made you upset. We're not sorry for what we did. You know that because we've just been explaining how this was a ceremony of tolerance and respect. But if that somehow offended you, then sorry you were offended.
Blocking of the videos from the organizer side. There've been some reports on blocking.
It was a ceremony like no other, and those are games like no other. I think that our hosts, it's easy for me to say, and we should all be grateful and thankful, they have put together a vision for these games, which is unprecedented. It's an incredible vision for games. We're trying to showcase that in the best possible way.
So that guy didn't even answer the question. I'm assuming the question was asked to him about the blocking of the video that involved this whole Last Supper parody. You know, if it was fine and you weren't meaning to disrespect anyone, then why have you blocked it? And his response was just to say, well, this was an incredible thing like no other. He wasn't even answering the question, assuming that question was addressed to him. And I would think it was, because they had the question shown and then right afterwards they had his response. Okay, so this one is in French now. And he's asking the one who actually was the creator of this, Thomas Joly. We're gonna have some subtitles now.
Ma volonté est simplement de dire que nous sommes ce grand nous et que hier soir, c'était des idées républicaines, c'était des idées d'inclusion, c'était des idées de bienveillance, de générosité, des idées de solidarité, bref, de ce que je crois nous avons follement besoin.
So there he is, just saying he didn't mean to offend anyone. It was just, again, it's the same thing that the previous lady said, right? It was all about inclusion. That's a very clever thing that they do, isn't it? They talk about inclusion, being inclusive, not wanting to push anyone away, because that sounds positive, right? Well, you're just including people, you know, everyone is welcome. But yet, for example, sometimes they'll have football, right? Soccer commercials where they try and say that this is for everyone. And during this commercial, this promotion video, they show various people playing football. And they'll show like a Muslim girl playing football in a hijab to show that it's really for everyone, for every culture, every religion, people from around the world. You can all play football. So why here, when you're including the Christian faith in the Last Supper, you're making a mockery of it? That's not an inclusive thing. That is yeah, we like these people and include all of them, and we'll include you as well, but only if we can make fun of you.
Or did it come together quite recently, what you can tell us?
Mais notre intention n'a jamais été d'être impertinent ou d'être subversif, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure. Notre idée, c'est simplement que oui, dans cette grande diversité, il y a besoin d'être conjointement... nous avons en tout cas voulu nous conjointement inclure tout le monde. Voilà. En France, la création artistique est libre. C'est le premier article de la loi sur la liberté de création. J'en profite comme d'autres libertés en France. Dans ce pays, on a la chance de ça.
So he's talking about having freedom of artistic creation that he takes advantage of. So that is like a sly way of saying, in France, creatively, you can do anything and make fun of anyone you want. And so, yeah, he's taken advantage of that and made fun of Christianity. This whole inclusion thing again, you know, like, we want to include everyone. So we're going to have a Last Supper where all the disciples are drag queens and Jesus is a drag queen. Why with the drag queens as well?
Il n'y avait pas de volonté pour moi de passer de messages plus, militants. C'était simplement des messages républicains. En France, on a le droit de s'aimer comme on veut, avec qui on veut. En France, on a le droit de croire ou de ne pas croire.
So you see how cleverly, again, he's talking about we're free to love who we want, how we want. That's because he is a practicing homosexual with a male partner. And for anyone who was wondering why this Olympic ceremony seemed like a gay pride parade, mystery solved. The person who was in charge of it is a practicing homosexual with a male partner who believes anyone should be able to love who they want.
En France, on a le droit, on a beaucoup de droits, voilà. Et c'était l'idée de faire transparaître ces valeurs-là à travers la cérémonie. Mais...
Okay, so he's taking advantage of the rights that you have in France to basically do whatever you want. This is France showing the world this is who they are. How embarrassing. You have an opportunity to showcase yourself to the world, and this is what you put on. This is who you think you are, France. This is your identity. So this wasn't in that press conference, but there are also other quotes from this Thomas Joly, who was trying to deny that this was meant to be a mockery of the Last Supper. And he said that it wasn't his inspiration, and that it should be pretty obvious that Dionysus was there arriving on a table, first and foremost because he is the god of celebration in Greek mythology, and the tableau is called festivity. He said there's also a god of wine, one of the jewels of France, and the father of Sequena, the goddess of the river Sena. The idea was to depict a big pagan celebration linked to the gods of Olympus, and thus the Olympics. That is the claim. And yet, for some reason, other than Dionysus, who's that naked blue weirdo you see at the front, that may well be Dionysus, or a depiction of Dionysus, all the other people behind that table that is, funnily enough, very similar to the Last Supper table. Like, it could have been anything else. It could have been a round table that they were all sitting around, or any other form of table and any other form of strategically placing people around that table, but it was somehow coincidentally exactly like you have in the Last Supper, with them all just sitting there looking forward at you from behind the table, and the center person, the person at the center, has some kind of crown or something around them, almost as if to say this is the most important person, and yet he's trying to play off that it wasn't the Last Supper at all. And so these were all supposed to be other Greek gods, were they? And yet they all just look like drag queens. So while the one at the front was maybe supposed to depict Dionysus, none of the others depicted any other god. I didn't see any wine god or river goddess. They all just looked like drag queens sitting there behind the table in the Last Supper style, mocking the Last Supper. So I don't buy that explanation. I think that's just a way out for him. It's a cowardly way out. Him trying to explain it away. Just in case there was some backlash, he had this ready. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We had a non-apology, we had an explanation, and we had a nonsensical trying to get out of something that you've done by pretending it was actually meant to be something else. By Mr. Thomas Joly. It was so embarrassing. Like, I can't imagine how many normal, decent French people must have been embarrassed by that. And only sick, twisted people thought that was great in any shape or form. You know, these drag queens, these weird men who like to dress up as women need help. Like, they have something not right in their head and they need help. Because they shouldn't be doing that. That shouldn't be normal. That shouldn't be promoted. That shouldn't be something encouraged. It certainly shouldn't be being shown to children. It shouldn't be being showcased to the world as part of your, look, this is France ceremony. What a joke, and what a sad thing that France has thrown back in God's face. As I said in the previous video, all these graces are basically just said they're doing things their own way. And when you do things your own way, weirdly enough, you end up doing things Satan's way. You think it's your way, but it's his way, and you're actually worshipping him. Folks, thank you very much for watching the video. Do leave your comments as usual. Have a blessed day.